Boom! We're back with Mansanity. We have John in the house, Ben, Jason, our sports analyst, and Dustin here on the mic. We're going to get into some big topics today. We're going to talk about UFC, go over Cormier and Jones, the little fight they had at the, what was it, a press conference or something?
It was some made-up shit to get them to fight with each other, but we'll talk about that.
And it's not Mansanity unless Ben puts out a profanity within 20 seconds of the show.
I have a profanity guarantee. As far as if I don't curse within the first minute, at least, I'll send you a nickel.
That could get expensive.
That could get expensive.
Well, I'm not going to fucking pay. That's all there is to it.
I think people that listen, they probably picture him as they probably picture Ben as a roid rage animal.
Which is exactly right. I am 475 pounds. I have an adamantium skeleton, and I am.
But it does have curly hair, so he does have a
That
deep
is
fro.
true. Mm-hmm. It's very nice as well.
So anyway, we're going to talk about Cormier Jones, and is that how you say his name? Cormier or Cormier?
Cormier.
Cormier. So Cormier and Jones, and then
custom.
also some Manziel, and then we might talk about the Washington Redskins and the whole name controversy, which seems to be a little overplayed and kind of annoying, to be honest with you.
I would say that as well. As far as it's been like that for the last, how long have they been around, Jason? Like,
Well, they've been
at
around
least
a long time.
at least 60s, 70s. I mean, they're not a new team.
It's crazy how it's 2014's the big issue about it.
All of a sudden.
Yeah.
Hey, wait,
all of a sudden.
hold on a second. This just in.
Uh-huh.
We have this is from SB Nation. Bizarre lawsuit alleges Johnny Manziel sent nude hot dog selfies. I'm not going to read the article. But
Hot dog selfies. What would a hot dog selfie be? Are we talking dick pics here?
I'm thinking it's dick
With
pics.
bun or without?
Well, I mean, you can't really help a little bit of bun.
In what appears to be a very odd and detailed legal filing that has no merit, Johnny Manziel was sued $25 million for sexual harassment. That's some expensive sex.
Yes.
Harassment.
What endorsement does he have?
Oh no! Wait, hold on. He has there are allegations of improper hot dog bun use at Long John Silver's.
So he's stuck his dick in a hot dog bun.
Nickname and penis enlargement.
So he stuck his dick in a hot dog bun. This is a free damn country. Is it because it was at Long John Silver's and they don't serve hot dogs?
Somebody's trying to make money off of Johnny footballs.
I
No, I know. What he does with his own penis, his own hot dog bun, his own camera, and his own Facebook following, it's his own business. That's all there is to it.
Got Broadway Joe back in the
That's
NFL. Reincarnation.
God knows where Joe Namath put his dick. I mean, that's kind of their soul.
Somehow the show always takes a turn to porn or sex.
Well, we have it in our tagline.
Well, now that you brought in that, you should have brought up Wilt Chamberlain.
What was the deal with him? He slept with like 4,000 people?
No, it was like he said over 10.
10,000.
Over 10,000?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's no way. He would have to have how long does the guy live?
He did the math. It's in his book. It's in like his biography. He does the math. He's all like, well, I fucked 117 women a day every day of the regular season. Blah, 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 blah.
He probably stepped it up.
How many seasons? Of course. I mean, who doesn't? As
Thank God he was that big, he could dunk because he'd have some weak legs.
I mean, you always step it up the playoffs. If the Lakers had not been the team they were, Kobe would not have assaulted that girl in Colorado. As far as Bill's playoffs, you got to get.
Well, and Wilt Chamberlain, he was probably trying to compete with Bill Russell because Bill Russell was whooping that dude's ass.
So he had to beat him at something.
Yeah, he's like,
he's all like, well, Russell, you might be able to just be far superior player than me, but I got the whores on you any day of the week.
Why went to LA?
Now that we're off topic, what about the? Did you see the?
Should we just go straight to
jump?
that? Well, but we're already on Manziel. We said we were going to talk about.
Let's go into Manziel.
Yeah.
So who watched? So anyway, overview of the game, right? So I'm watching the game. You got Brian Hoyer comes in,
which is an outstanding quarterback. I mean, if you're going to lose your job to anybody in the NFL, Brian Hoyer, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, those are all always mentioned in the same sentence.
So that'll be your backup quarterback in fantasy.
That'll be my starter. It'll be Brian Hoyer, and then I'll have Johnny Manziel on the bench.
So anyway, Brian Hoyer comes out. I think it was for 2 series. Absolutely, I think he missed. I mean, he was missing throws big time. It was pretty. Yeah. It was pretty bad. Then Manziel comes in for a couple. Absolutely sucks. Throws balls behind people.
Flips off the crowd.
Flips off the crowd. I think in the third quarter or something like that.
He said he was flipping off the Redskins bench. Is what he said. I mean, I didn't even see the game because, I mean, it's the Browns.
Well, we have Ray Rice beating bitches, and we're worried about Johnny Manziel flipping off the crowd. Or we're flipping off the Redskins.
And once
Sorry.
again...
You can't use that name.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Off of the Washington
hey, man, I'm
NFL
one quarter
franchise.
Indian, and I'm not offended. So
He
it's okay.
really is. He's a Native American.
I'm
He's
Native.
been listening. He's but that just also, I mean, the Browns... My goodness. Why is Josh Gordon suspended for smoking marijuana when apparently, even on all that reefer, he was the only reason that team was even getting down the field?
Honestly, though, in the preseason, man, he's not been very well. Not been very good.
He's
at all.
playing?
Yeah, he's playing. He's playing the
Oh,
preseason.
I didn't know. I thought
Manziel threw a couple balls to him last night. They were a little behind him, but he was not catching the ball. I mean,
I thought he was totally...
How's my boy Miles Austin doing over there?
I didn't see him catch a ball. I don't think he was targeted once.
What about my boy Andrew Hawkins?
He was probably.
What's he doing?
I saw him on there. He looks like a midget.
He's very short. Hey,
He
I like
looks
him.
tiny.
Any year on fantasy football, I will pick up Andrew Hawkins and have him on my team for a little while. It's just it makes me feel like home.
Well, I think the thing. I mean, you have Gordon there. You have Hawkins. You have Miles Austin. I just think the receiving core is pretty bad, man. I mean, you have a good. Obviously, Gordon is a good player, but other than that, I mean, Miles Austin.
He needs somebody from across from him.
Yeah, I mean,
because I actually think Hawkins, if he was in the right situation, because like when he was with the Bengals and he did get some playing time before he got hurt. I mean, that first year when he was with the Bengals, he really, because he had AJ Green take some of the things. They always had Sanu, or well, I mean, they didn't have Jones yet, but they had like Sanu on the other side. Kind of, I mean, you have to watch him at least. You can't just leave him over there. They were putting up some good. I mean, they have just a really good offense as far as by the Bengals by comparison to Browns. There's certain players that aren't going to make it on their own. They kind of need to be in a good situation.
Well, I think it's one of those things where everybody's wanting Manziel to start, and you have your fans and you have your haters, so that makes a popular player.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at the end of the day, this guy's not playing well. But I think Hoyer's playing worse.
He's already the number one selling NFL jersey, Johnny Manziel.
But you know what's amazing about this? We're talking about Cleveland.
Yeah, we're talking about Cleveland. But
yeah,
we've been talking about Cleveland all month with LeBron.
And not basketball, though.
No, but the thing about it is, if you're talking about the Browns, they're already profiting.
Mm-hmm. Well, even I think they would be better not playing Manziel for the first year or so. I mean, because that roster's not good. Even if, let's say, Manziel comes in, he probably doesn't know the playbook yet. I mean, he's not. I mean, how many years did he play at A&M? He only played 2 years, right?
2, I think.
Yeah. He only played 2 years. So, I mean, he's a young guy. He's coming in. He has to learn the playbook. It's probably a bad idea just to throw him in there right off the bat. And I mean, you're going to suck no matter what. So you might as well just play it Warrior, play it out. And
I mean, I would say as far as the rookie quarterbacks, I mean, just personally, I think Teddy Bridgewater's a much better quarterback than Johnny Manziel, and he's looked atrocious too in the preseason as far as, and they're kind of just, he actually said in a quote, he does not want to start yet. He's very happy having Matt Castle start over him for the time being as far as while he gets gets his legs. I mean, you got to think you're going to have a long career, hopefully, in the NFL. If you're a quarterback, you don't want to first year come out and just screw the pooch and have everything to where nobody ever wants to sign you again. I mean,
have you seen Bridgewater play, Jason?
I haven't seen him play yet.
The thing about me with him is his delivery looks terrible.
What's the guy from Jacksonville's name?
That's
I've seen that guy, Blake Bortles.
Man, he looks good.
I think he's actually going to be the best of them.
I agree. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of a cross between. I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, but he reminds me of a cross between Brady and Roethlisberger. Doesn't he kind of? And you're a Pittsburgh fan, so you kind of.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely looked real comfortable.
Well, he's a big guy. He's like, what is he, like 6'4"? He's a pretty big. I mean, he's a big quarterback. He can see over the defense, I mean, he's putting the ball right on the money, man.
He's more of a pocket quarterback that he can move if he has to, but he's mostly going to stay in the pocket if he has to.
Yeah, and he's a big guy, so he can take a beating. He's not like an RG3 where he's not. And that's what's crazy about RG3, man. That guy, how can he be that athletic and not be able to slide? He looks like a moron when he slides.
How'd he play baseball?
He played baseball?
I thought he played baseball.
He must have went head first every time. That dude can't slide.
No,
he won't play 16 games.
No, there's no way. I saw last night, even with the Browns, man, even when the times he didn't slide, he would try to get out of bounds, and man, he got hammered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got up limping.
Well, and honestly, too, I mean, it is the NFL. They're not going to avoid you just because you're injury prone. They're going to attack you because you're injury prone. I mean, that's kind of. Sure. I mean, look at who were the Packers playing last year when both Jones got knocked out of the game and then Cobb got his leg broken?
I can't remember.
I can't remember. I want to say it's a division game.
But yeah, it was. But I mean, regardless, it was like that was just they were just attacking their
honestly,
receiving core because they knew
you have a damn good memory because I don't know how you do.
Because I mean, they were just going after him as far as because if you stop Aaron Rodgers, I mean, yeah, you have Eddie Lacy who's a very good running back, but you can't just. He's not going to win the game for you. He tried. I mean, that's like when Rodgers was hurt, they were giving him like 30 carries a game. And I mean, he was trying the best he can, but he just one running back. I mean, if one running back could win you a championship, the Vikings would be 7-year consecutive champions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Well, I think back to Manziel. I mean, he's... Do you think he'll be a good quarterback? I mean,
I was trying to think, is he going to be like a Russell Wilson, or I don't think he's going to be that good.
He doesn't have the supporting cast.
I think he doesn't play within the system, I think.
He's on a very bad team.
Oh, I know that, but
he's going to look really bad.
Well, he not even just because he was on a bad team. If you watched the game last night, man, he was throwing the ball. He wasn't even close to receivers. It was bad.
His head isn't there. He hasn't hit.
And he's got an attitude problem. I saw him get sacked, and he got up and threw his hands up and tried to push a 350-pound lineman. It's like, dude, you're going to get your ass whooped. What are you doing?
I read actually, and Jason, you'll like this, that Jerry Jones said that he wanted to draft Manziel and actually had his draft card filled out, and somebody stole it.
His son.
Well, if you think about it, wouldn't have.
That would have been a better situation for Manziel for sure. I mean. You can sit back.
Not really.
Well, I mean, you can sit back. You can watch. I mean, like as far as if they're going to give him time to develop. Well, you can sit back. You can watch Tony Romo for a couple seasons, see what to do during the regular season, what not to do in playoffs. I mean, that's
joke.
Yeah.
Had to go there, didn't they?
Yes. If you look at the Browns, though, I mean, during that draft, really taking Manziel was. I mean, I guess it could have been good if the guy comes out to be good. But I mean, they really needed receivers. They needed a lot of other things.
There's a lot of things I just think
They could have got Kelvin Benjamin, man. That guy could be a really good player.
Good night.
They passed on him to get Manziel.
And I mean, I really have a problem with just the way the Browns sign people. To be honest, I mean, like out of all, they just threw bags and bags of money at Ben Tate. I mean, I don't have a big problem with Ben Tate. I think he's a good running back, but. I mean, he's so injury prone, it's not even funny. It's like, as a backup, not even getting lead back duties, Arian Foster would go down. Tate's down within 5 minutes, too, as far as, he's hurting he's breaking ribs in practice. And
you know what they should have done? They should just sign LeBron, because then he can get talent there.
Yeah.
That's what he does in Cleveland, man.
LeBron's a Cowboy fan. He's going to be a Cowboy if he plays football.
You can tell this guy's ready for fantasy football.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking... Man, what's all this crap?
Deep roster knowledge of the Cleveland Browns there.
He knows all the backups and everybody. And
Terrence West is Ben Tate's backup, and he looks fantastic.
Holy shit, what are you talking about?
He looks awesome.
Who the hell is Terrence West?
He's a badass, dude. He came out of like some little no-name-ass college. He ran for like 4,000 yards last year.
He's been talking about the Jaguars next. He's been talking about the...
I think the Jaguars have an underrated receiving core.
Huh?
Well, slightly. They're the worst team in the NFL. I don't think they have the worst receivers.
Should we just not join fantasy football this year?
Half their players.
I was like 5th last year. It wasn't like I did anything
special. Crap! Oh, yeah. Crap. I forgot I won last year.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. But that auto draft really worked.
He rode Jamal Charles to a championship.
Oh, man. That killed me, man.
Much like the year before, I rode Adrian Peterson to a championship. That's all it is if you get the running back that's just going to kill it.
I wonder how Jordan rode his girl last night.
We'll find out next season.
Even the Conquest Challenge didn't go well yesterday. It was just it's awkward to go from riots and sadness to hey Jordan, how are you gonna fuck?
So you know what his conquest last week was? We gave him a challenge. We give him a challenge each week, and then he talks about it on this podcast, which his girl could listen. Apparently doesn't know about it, but they play tennis. So his thing was to say, "Hey, give me a handy rotting, bitch."
I heard about it.
Okay, so this week was, listen, bitch, I'm gonna serve up my dick. I'm gonna serve up my dick.
Still, while apparently...
So this is his challenge.
And the response is going to have to be at some point, why do we keep fucking on this tennis court? That's got to be the response at some time. She's got to be like, why do you keep saying weird things to me? But more importantly, my bed is like a quarter of a mile away. I am tired. I have gravel everywhere. What am I not? I guess not on a tennis court, but around. You never know as far as grass.
Clay, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck a tennis court is made out of. That's like, could be freaking... blacktop for all I know.
I don't know. Only
Did we
Jordan
ever
knows
get this
about
recorded?
Only Huh? Oh, absolutely.
No, did he record that?
No, he doesn't record it.
He needs to start.
And the thing is, he said
We are not like getting solicitation out here.
Not the whole episode, just the part where the Andy Roddick.
No, Handy.
Oh, Handy Roddick.
Give me
Are you propositioning audio or video here?
Just audio. I don't care about video. But just to hear the girl's reaction to
video.
just the reaction out of the girls.
Well, apparently,
bring it more real.
he really didn't even. He's really failing his things. Dude.
No, it's a horrible concept, really, to be honest. Because it's not happening. It's like every time we ask him, he's embarrassed. Then we ask him again, and he'll kind of go.
Can we change the episode to? I don't know. Jason's the newly married one.
No,
that would be boring.
Oh,
the weird part is he's not worried about saying, "Hey, I'm gonna serve my dick up." He's worried about saying the word "bitch."
Yes, he wants to be respectful.
He's like, "Give me a handy Roddick, bitch." He won't say the bitch part. He'll just say, "Give me a handy Roddick."
He's a gentleman.
Maybe please at the end? I don't know.
Of course, a gentleman doesn't really talk about who we fucked a couple days ago on the podcast either. For all of our listeners who, once again, we love you very much and thank you very much for listening to our podcast. I'm talking to the listeners here, man. You're all so wonderful. Anyway, yes, what were you saying?
I forgot. Sorry, listeners.
Sorry about that. Tell them they're wonderful.
All 14 listeners are
wonderful. We love these guys, man.
Sports fanatics here.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Jason.
Well, last night we actually put on the air that we do take donations. And we actually have a donation button.
How does that work for you?
We buy beer with a donation. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And if we get too high up, we'll like the...
Gave you money?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
And they shouldn't. No. They should not give us money. I mean, that's kind of... We do promise once we get past our beer money, I mean, we will give it, like, if you give us money, we'll give it to somebody who needs it. I mean, we're not keeping it.
How about his condoms for these episodes?
There's no condoms.
Apparently.
Oh, well,
he's, well, not sterile, but he doesn't wrap it up, I guess. I don't know. Obviously not, because he got baby.
If he starts scratching himself during the middle of the day, we will have to make a donation to the healthcare fund for him. Because
so we started off as a sports show, and now we're talking about Jordan. What's happening?
We're going to Monday or Tuesday's show.
But that's what's great about the show. We just talk about whatever we want to, and we really don't care. We talk
if you see what the episode guidelines are, you know it's not going to stick to that.
All right, back to UFC. I'm going to just change it right back over
to UFC. We haven't touched on UFC.
We used to do stuff like that. That was cool.
What do you mean?
I was just thinking of things that people would do in their past that just very interesting. The young guys and what they do nowadays compared to what I guess we used to do.
Or like sock hops and freaking drive-in movies and stuff like that.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with driving movies.
Driving movies badass. Those should not have went out. Those are awesome.
That really is something. That is kind of surprising that there isn't anything to do that. Because, I mean, the main thing I don't like about movies is sitting next to people and having them, like, yell and, oh, watch out, Optimus Prime, Megatron, I'm going to get your ass. No.
Oh, they yell at the drive-in, doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, then never mind. So I'll choose to watch it at home.
Jones or Cormier?
Gotta go with the champ.
I think so, too, man. I think Jones has the, those elbows are just freaking devastating, man.
Well, I mean, honestly, I
haven't really seen much Cormier, but
Cormier's fantastic.
I'm sure he is, but Jones, I just think he has so much more skill than just because isn't Cormier more of a wrestler and he has some decent hands, but I think
the benefit of his hands is he's a real good inside kind of boxer. Like he's one of those guys that'll put you up against the fence and beat actually go to the fight.
Who did Jones fight last time? That was a real good inside boxer.
Textera.
Yeah, but look at what Jones did to him. He went inside on Teixeira and just beat him
in his own game.
That impressed me.
Beat him in his own game
so much it wasn't even funny, to be honest. Because I mean that was like I was just expecting. I mean because Glover was hot. He got like 19 consecutive wins whenever they fought. And I mean,
he was.
And the
guy's an animal. As far as
the guy is an animal. And so tough. I mean, the whole time, like, Jones was hitting him with punches that should have knocked anyone out as far as in the whole game. And he was just coming right back for him. I mean, Jones even said that at the end. He's like, you will not knock this dude out. But he beat him decisively. I've never seen somebody get beaten so badly during a UFC fight and yet still be in it so much as far as, like, because, I mean, he never had him out of the fight, but he just kept beating the crap out of him. I mean,
if Jones is like focused, I don't think anyone can beat him. If he does like an Anderson Silva where it doesn't take his opponent, takes him lightly, then yeah, anything can happen. But
that comparison with him with Anderson Silva it's a pretty comparison because I mean, he's a lot like him. The only thing about Jones, other than Anderson, is that inside game is devastating, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what he did against Teixeira was crazy.
Well,
I mean, nobody expected that.
Well, Anderson, I don't know why he gave up the clinch because he had the best inside game in it. All
Look
of
what he did with Rich Franklin.
Yeah,
Good
his clinch was stupidly outstanding. I mean, it's almost like he gave it up to give other people chances. Because if he got you in the clinch, there's not a I mean, he could be the heavyweight. He could be Cain Velasquez if he put him in the clinch and just kneed him the way he was kneading Rich Franklin. You can't stop that.
Yeah, if you got him in the tie clinch or whatever.
And that's kind of
how old is Jones? Is he like 20?
He's pretty young.
He's probably about like 26 now because he was like 23 when he first started.
Big
but yeah,
difference right there too.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's pretty much like the new age, the new breed,
kind of like
Anderson Silva.
Too,
and you got to think he's going to probably add some better jiu-jitsu to his game. Every year he's going to get better. So if you think, even like Anthony Johnson coming up, hitting the same division, Anthony Johnson?
He is. Anthony Johnson's actually pretty old.
Well,
I mean, not like super old, but like by comparison.
I like Anthony Johnson's. I think he has the best boxing skills in the game. However, Jones has the Muay Thai, the boxing, he has some ground game. I mean, he's just overall I think he's a superior fighter.
He's got those elbows too.
Those elbows are nasty,
tear up the face.
Now, what do you think as far as since the Jones? It was originally supposed to be Jones Gustafson.
Right.
The rematch of the really close fight. I mean, I watched the fight. I thought Jones had it because I don't buy into the whole thing as far as because apparently MMA fighters have never watched a boxing match before. As far as that, if it goes into decision and you're fighting the champion, unless you beat the holy shit out of him, you are not winning that fight. That's all there is to it.
It's a close fight.
The champion's advantage. It's called. I mean, that's the champion's advantage. It's like It's a term, and I mean, you have. Gustafson put up a great fight, but Jones beat him because, I mean, it would be probably right down the middle. Jones gets the decision. Everybody wants to see them, which I can understand why people want to see him fight again. It was a good fight. So Gustafson pulls out because he's injured. Cormier takes his place. Now, after all this hubbub with the confrontation at the press conference, anything like that, the anticipation for the fight's much, much higher. Jones is hurt now. They're fighting in January. Gustafson's throwing a fit because he'd be ready by January.
Yeah, but
he thinks he should get his title shot back.
But Gustafson lost the fight. He needs to quit bitching. It's not like the champ lost and then you're having a rematch with that fight.
Is he still the number one contender though?
Yes. He's still ranked number one.
I think he is, but they tried to make that fight happen, and Gustafson he hurt his quad or something.
Yeah, while he was in training for it.
Right, so they made the Cormier fight, but I mean, it's like
which Cormier is coming off a win against Dan Henderson. So if that wouldn't have changed the rankings, it very possibly could have. I mean, I don't think it would have knocked Gustafson out of first because that's not usually how UFC works. Like, you just lose first unless you actually lose your title shot.
Yeah.
But it's Dan Henderson. I mean, and he beat the snot out of him. And
he beat him within 30. What wasn't it like? First round.
First round
knockout. TK.
And I mean, Dan Henderson does not get knocked out in the first round. Does not get any sort of finish in the first round. I mean, Anderson Silva, he went into late the second round with Anderson Silva.
Well, I'd like to see Gustafson actually fight somebody else and then. I mean, fight because I think what did he say? He's not going to fight anybody unless he fights you. I mean, just fight somebody and prove yourself, then come out to the next one. I mean, you did lose the fight. Yes. It ain't like he won the fight, and
that's kind of the same way as I look at I mean, Johnny Hendricks has been getting under my skin because I really liked Johnny Hendricks when he was about to fight GSP. Loved him. I mean, thought he was well deserving, was going to be the next champ. Well, I was not impressed by him when he fought GSP. Yes, he probably on paper would have won that fight against George St. Pierre. George St. Pierre is a champion, and George St. Pierre is the biggest name in MMA history. I would even say bigger probably than Anderson Silva just because of his marketability as far as...
Well, I think if GSP came back now and they set that fight up, that would be a massive fight.
But that's Johnny Hendricks did nothing but complain about GSP getting the decision. And again, you didn't really decisively beat GSP. I would say that fight was 3 rounds Hendricks, 2 rounds GSP. Any round that's even close, they're going to give to the champ just because, I mean, he's George St. Pierre. I mean,
what are they talking about?
Won 2 fights before
with Hendricks. Is the Lawler fight happening pretty soon?
Yeah, he's supposed to be fighting Lawler next, and he's complaining about that because he already beat Lawler.
He did, and he did actually beat Lawler, but Lawler went back and fought. Who did he fight recently?
Matt Brown. Was who he got the title shot.
He looked amazing against Matt Brown. So I think they should definitely give him another shot because he probably is the top contender.
Well, and you think Lawler looked amazing fighting Matt Brown, who really looked very impressive in defeat, too. I mean, Matt Brown looked like probably any other. He looked like he could have given Johnny Hendricks all that he could have handled that night. As far as, like, he looked like that he could have possibly taken the belt off of Hendricks whenever Lawler just tore through him like a used Kleenex. I mean, that's kind of what's
Brown has skills, man. I mean,
he's an outstanding fighter.
I think he's ranked 5th overall in
he's
the
one of
world
those dudes
that
that you never, ever, ever could sleep on because he could take it out of you any day of the week.
Who's the kind of fighter you're looking at right now, man?
Man, I haven't seen UFC much lately. I was interested in that Jones fight, but I haven't really seen.
Well, I think Jones and Cormier did a great job by. I mean, there are people saying Dana White's going to suspend him and all this kind of crap. Man, Dana White posted that on his Instagram page.
He got that from Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing the whole WWE kind of, which honestly is a smart move.
I think he should go more, to be honest. I don't understand. As far as Dana White has said, Vince McMahon is the greatest marketer of any sort of sports in history, which I agree with. As far as, I mean, you take a fake sport, that is exactly what it is. They are athletes doing something fake. It's essentially the same as kind of like ballet.
Not fake.
It is fake. And I've watched it since I was like 5, and by the time I was 7, I figured out, wow, Sting's not really hitting that guy. That's fantastic. It still didn't make me not
He's
like
stomping
Sting.
the ground and punching his chest.
Still loved Sting, still thought it was cool, but I mean, it's just an athletic competition, kind of like the extreme cheer gymnastics, something like that, a very athletic choreographed competition.
Extreme cheers, that's some shit.
But it's, I mean,
but see, really John, that's why John's such a big WWE fan. I mean, he loves the.
He loves it. It's still real to him. It is still real to him. He's a Hulkamaniac.
Events, man.
Did you really? Where'd you go?
I have no Lebanon, Missouri.
Well, who did you watch?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
You know what's funny? He came in the music store 2 years ago. Hacksaw, I got pictures with him. Actually, really nice guy.
Oh, very nice guy.
The British Bulldogs.
Oh yeah, British Bulldog. Yeah.
Davey is in.
And then they used to have one girl match with the big boobs that used to run out there. And
Missy Hyatt. Who was it?
Some girl named Missy Hyatt.
God, she's like 95 now.
As you was a kid, you just wish they would rip off their top or something on accident. And
you know what's funny?
Went there for.
Me and Ben were watching it. This was back when it was probably 2004 when it was like R-rated. Who was the girl that she went to like smack the mat and her tits fell off?
Crap, what was her damn name?
Jackie.
Yeah, it wasn't one of the ones that you would be like, woo, like Trish Stratus or Lita or something like that. It was kind of like, oh, really? That's the one that we got to see? But yeah, came right out.
They used to have where they threw them all in the ring at one time.
The Royal Rumble.
And the
Battle Royal, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Coco Beware.
Oh, love Coco.
With the bird. John's WWE.
Yeah, he's
back WWF, man. This is back before the Whales had to, or they had to, wasn't the whole deal with the
World Wildlife Foundation, I mean, it was WWF was there first as far as the domain. It was a whole domain name registration as far as they said they're WWF.com. Vince said he's and they had the domain first. So but the government liked the idea of backing up the World Wildlife Foundation better than a bunch of steroidal wrestlers. So he made them change to World Wrestling Entertainment, which really did affect the product because now they don't even pretend it's real.
So John,
I don't have no daggum time anymore. I don't know about you guys. But.
So you were a WWE fan. Then tell us about George Mikan back in the day.
That's some sorry shit.
Oh, John cussed.
That's sorry, dude.
So tell us about George Mikan.
Didn't he have Converse or something?
I think he was the introduction of the shot clock because he was so dominant, right? Held the ball forever and just dunked on.
What was it like watching Pistol Pete play?
Actually, I watched that movie. That's an awesome movie.
No, I mean,
I did not watch him live. And you're from Louisiana.
Yeah, Pistol Pete, man, he averaged 42 a game with LSU, right?
I don't know. I saw him.
You were there.
Ridiculous.
All these kids now. I mean, it's crazy. All these kids nowadays. All that freaking Derrick Rose, greatest point guard of all time. He's like a point guard, man. Like,
he dribbled with one hand.
Yeah.
Just please let me verify something. Jason, how old are you?
35.
How old are you?
23.
Bullshit. How old are you?
117.
Jason's the only honest person here. And I'm only 7 years older than Jason, so.
When O.J. Simpson was in the league, was he kind of... I know you saw O.J.
No, I saw him in the Bronco at college.
Okay.
I saw him on NBC back in the day.
Yeah, back in the white Bronco going around.
No, when he was a sideline reporter.
Oh, yeah. And this is what he was famous for. I mean, forget his football career, forget all that.
Naked Gun.
Naked Gun.
I was very disappointed when I was found out, dude from Naked Gun killed his wife?
He was so nice in that.
He was so nice. I was like, if anything, Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, I mean, he was like, he murdered somebody, but not OJ, man.
Did we not forget about Kato? Or do you guys just...
Kato?
He didn't kill Kato.
But he wasn't in Naked Gun 33 and a third.
Kato's fine. It was Ron Goldman that got... Poor bastard.
See, I can't even remember. I'm
Man,
getting
Ron
old. The
Goldman.
memory's kind of going.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. When you watch Jim Brown and you watch Jim Thorpe, I mean, that's just
That's okay. When I'm 52.
Honus Wagner.
When I'm 50.
Or Joe Theismann.
When I'm 50 and you turn 40.
Ty Cobb.
John was the one who set Joe Theismann's leg. Went out on the...
But you know what's bad is, I'm talking about John being old, and I'm sitting here in a room filled with Michael Jordan posters.
Old one.
And the young kids that are in here are like, they never even seen the guy play.
They're like, who? Who is that? Is that LeBron's dad? I don't know what's going on here.
Well, you know for a fact that LeBron looks older than Michael still.
Yeah, that hairline's rough, man.
Hey.
LeBron's
Why you
hairline.
gotta go there? Oh,
I'm
LeBron.
not.
Okay.
My hairline's going to do it for yours.
Where's the headband?
So we had everybody pretty much agrees John Jones will beat either Cormier or Gustafson or
Both.
Randy Couture if he comes out of retirement or whoever it may be as far as the... Not Brock Lesnar, though.
Well, I think back to the
back
the
to
whole
WWE.
Manziel playing the Redskins and sucking it up. What about the Redskins' name, man? You got like all these guys saying they're not going to say the name and all this kind of BS. When I think I saw a article where they interviewed or basically did a poll for Indians and things like that, and it was like 3% or something had a problem with it. I forgot the exact number. We have to look it up. But
I was just not offensive.
So much money at the damn casino. I mean, they don't.
well, then they're getting government funding, man.
I was just not offensive to him 3 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
It's all of a sudden 2014, like,
pressing
oh.
issue now. I mean, that's kind of like you just pop it out and all of a sudden, oh, we got to change this
Right.
now. We can't.
People
We're
are
so
sensitive, man.
Yeah, everybody's so sensitive
And
now,
then
man.
why-
Everybody's so politically correct, and it's like, man, it's
I mean,
bullshit.
I could have sued a bunch of people for these freaking Polish jokes.
I know.
But, I mean, yeah, people are just too sensitive.
But yeah, well, I mean, why do you think everybody has
Is
a
that-
problem with it now? It's like,
Is that going to affect like all teams that have that? Is Cleveland
Yeah, what
Indians
was
going to
it?
have to change their
I mean,
name?
isn't the Browns? Isn't that an Indian reference, or am I wrong? Or does
I
it
have
mean
no
just
clue.
dogs? I have
They have,
no
like,
clue.
I just,
Does it
I
mean
think
dogs?
I
like
think
a
it's some kind
Dog
of...
poop or something? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, because they got like a
They might as well be
that
named after
bulldog
shit.
as their reference, but maybe they're named after Jim Brown.
No, I think he played
That would
for
be
him.
the best thing ever, man. If they were done.
I mean, he played for him, but maybe they kind of were just like, he's coming. Let's name the team the Browns.
I think it was,
That's gonna be fucking awesome.
I think like their first owner or something. Last name was Brown or something.
Oh, is that what they named it? That?
I think
Well, what's the
so.
deal with the dog? Like, why they have the dog pound? And that?
I don't know. Maybe it's
Very bizarre.
Mike Ditka's the one that says today, it's so stupid, it's appalling. Just the whole thing.
Oh, is that what Ditka said?
Mike Ditka.
Dick is the man.
Oh, well,
Even though I'm a
Ditka.
Saints fan, he sucked as a coach for the Saints.
He sure did.
Ditka is the man.
He wasn't that great as a Bears coach anyway. I mean, my goodness, if you can't win with Walter Payton, same sort of thing. What
You know the thing
best
he was-
defense of all time.
The thing he was remembered as a Saints coach is promoting Viagra. Seriously.
I thought it was going to be the Ricky Williams wig.
That didn't happen. Shut up.
They're trading all his draft picks away.
Yeah, I know. Trade like 16 years of draft picks for one guy
Got some dreads on.
that likes to smoke weed and not play.
Josh Gordon.
Mm-mm.
This is the original.
This is when you actually had to quit to not play.
Ah,
You had to actually just leave.
you didn't get suspended.
What time we got, man?
26 minutes.
That's how long we've been going.
No, that's how long we have left.
Holy shit.
This might be a short one today,
Ben
ladies
can't
and
go
gentlemen.
26
We are.
minutes, you know that.
Huh?
Ben can't go 26 minutes.
I know Jordan can because he only does 5.
I didn't know anything about UFC. I got it. Sorry, Ben. I just.
So you can race to the finish line, or you can just stand there at the fucking edge.
This is what happens when you talk about WWE. It just kind of goes to a halt. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, it's like when you talk about WWE on a sports show, it does kind of take the fight out of it because it's like you expect somebody to be feeding you more lines. It's like, hey, what do we do now?
Yeah.
Kind of much like the real WWE.
So what's up next, Jason?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about next?
What is
Jason.
big in sports right now?
Freaking Manziel. That's about it.
Yeah.
I honestly don't want to talk about that guy anymore because I'm tired of hearing about him on ESPN.
I'm just ready for our draft. So I'm just.
Who would you take as the number one pick if you had the number one pick in the fantasy football draft? Because I know our listeners play fantasy football, so.
Honestly, I don't, and I even
he doesn't want to give up his.
No, even like in the mock drafts I've been doing and stuff, I don't even like every time I do it, I feel bad about, but I take Jamal Charles.
Oh, the number one pick?
Yeah.
Well, I took him as the 7th pick last year. I had to take him.
I'm not gonna lie, I would take Manning.
Take Manning.
I know everybody wants to take a running back, but
no, I don't see anything wrong because every time I take Jamal Charles, I look at like Manning sitting there. I always feel bad when somebody picks Manning, and honestly, I always feel bad when somebody picks Calvin Johnson too. Every time that I don't get, but you can't take them all.
With Manning, it's kind of one of those things with Charles. You're like, he could get hurt. Manning could get hurt, but over a course of career, he just had 1 year where he wasn't playing. And that guy's pretty much guaranteed points.
Well, and two, I mean, it's like because honestly. In the first round of most fantasy drafts, Peyton and Drew Brees now are gone. As far as because the whole running back thing's kind of fallen away. So you are gonna either way.
Well, I saw an article today, and they were talking about Matthew Stafford being basically, they were saying he should be the 3rd overall pick because of the having Bush the second year there, and then
third quarterback or third overall.
Third overall quarterback, basically.
Oh.
They're saying he's pretty much the 3rd quarterback ahead of Rodgers, ahead of Brady, and things like that.
And you got to take into consideration the AFC West, which Manning's in and Charles is in, has the toughest schedule.
Yeah,
they got to play the NFC West.
Oh,
so
true.
They're going to have to go against San Francisco, Seattle all those defenses, and beat up each other. So
well, that makes sense too because if you're looking at. I mean, you always take into account who your player's playing. Like, if you have one receiver that's playing Seattle and one receiver playing Jacksonville, you're going to play that receiver if they're
I'm talking
somewhat
about
close.
Your Manning or your Charles.
Right.
They're not going to have a heyday every week. So I mean,
that's very true.
They got a lot tougher schedule this year.
Manning, when he looks like he has a bad week, he still puts up 30 points.
Well, if you look at the best overall points last year, I mean, Manning was head and shoulders above anybody.
Not even close. I mean, one of the hard things that I've noticed on fantasy football as far as when you are doing the mock drafts is it's really hard to kind of diversify getting different players for different teams. Because, I mean, you don't want to get just like, I got all freaking Lions or all Bears or something like that. But it's really getting tough because there's a lot of like, I mean, just like my beloved Bears, for example.
Fantastic receivers.
You have Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall both going high in the 2nd round, and Matt Forte is one of the top 5 picks in almost every mock draft I've seen. That's a lot of Bears as far as, I mean, if you take Matt Forte, if you're lucky enough that Brandon Marshall or Alshon Jeffrey is still sitting around the 2nd round, you want to take him, but then what if freaking Jay Cutler goes down again and you have nobody throwing to him? I mean, that's why Josh McCown was no problem last year, but who do they have this year back?
It's funny, they have all those top players, and then Jay Cutler's like way down the list. You think
he's been creeping up, but still, I wouldn't.
I mean, you would think with the talent he has, though.
Yeah, he'd be a top quarterback.
Man, I mean, he's got Jeffrey and Alshon Jeffrey, then Brandon Marshall, then even their tight end's solid. I mean,
I won't lie. I mean,
Forte's a good passing back. I mean,
if I missed out on if we were doing fantasy football and I missed out on all the top guys, missed out on Stafford about like 3rd or 4th round, something like that's about where he's going. If I missed out on him, and I was sitting there staring down the pipe of like Jay Cutler or like if it was like Jay Cutler, Tony Romo, or then Matt Ryan, Nick Foles, or something like that, it's going to be Cutler or Romo, even though people would rank those other guys up a lot higher.
Who do you think the main sleeper is in this draft, John?
I have not studied. I think Ben's had his head on the computer.
Well, you're a bitch.
Shut Ben, let's see. Who's he really going to tell us?
Freaking loser, man!
He's not going to tell us.
Get your head out your ass. It's fantasy. It's real life.
I would have said, Titans dude. Justin
Hunter?
I would have said him any day of the week but I mean, he's blowing up now. It's not like there's the same kind of thing. Like preseason has really shown, I think, who the sleepers were going to be.
But the true
they're coming out as far as like
until the season. Right?
That's the thing, man. There's always like right when you start the season, it seems like after week 3. There's somebody that's just kind of creeping up
out again.
And whoever gets that player ends up winning the league, it seems like. Mm-hmm. Like, you got Jennings. That Jennings pick last year was huge.
I got Jennings and Keenan Allen.
And Keenan Allen, yeah.
Those guys helped me win the league, along with,
If I hadn't had stupid C.J. Spiller to bounce back from, I would have...
Well, if you would have accepted some of my trades, you'd have been better off.
Your unfair trades? Terribleness. Absolutely horribleness. Hey, I'll trade you this crap receiver for, like, 4 of your running backs.
Hey, it was the Saints. Marquise
I
Colston.
don't want
dude.
no Saints.
Man, I wanted that guy so bad, and it was funny because you actually thought about trading him, and then at the end of the year he turned it on.
Yeah, you tried to trade me Matthews, and then he had a big.
Yeah,
game.
Matthews did well. It would have been pretty much an even trade.
But I had Danny Woodhead.
You still beat my ass. I'm still pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sorry.
Who else though? Is there any other sleepers that?
Who do you think, Jason?
Can't
Do
be
you feel
felt
comfortable?
I know y'all don't agree. I think Monty Ball is going to have a big year with Denver.
He's not really a sleeper though. I mean, he's a starting back.
But do you think
Yeah,
he'll
but
live
he's
up
not-
to his hype
He's not
as
like
far
the top
as
5 running backs that everyone's going after. I mean, he's in that lower second group, and I think he's going to put up as good, if not better, numbers than Marino did.
But do you think he'll live up actually to his high price?
I think he will.
He's not gonna be like a disappointment. He's not gonna be like the CJ Spiller of this year or the Doug Martin or something like that. He's not gonna just ruin your. Which Doug Martin honestly wasn't his fault. He just got hurt.
Well, I had
I
Doug
mean,
Martin
that's
the first year, and that guy was man. He had games where I had like 63 points.
Oh yeah, I
It's
remember that
crazy.
as far
So
as
what round are you taking Des Bryant? Let's just
Probably first.
I will say, like I said, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but Bryant is a beast.
he's
I mean, you
outstanding.
can't. If Bryant's there,
If he's
then
there,
he's there my second pick, and
Mhm.
it's gonna be hard to
That's
pick him up.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's going to be pretty much whoever has whoever had probably the 12th pick is going to probably end up with like Des Bryant, whoever was left at the end of the first round. That's kind of just the way it's shaping up to be as far as because. I mean, hell, I honestly can see some value in with how good the high-end receivers are as opposed to how much it drops off. I think running backs are more consistent throughout the rest of the draft.
I think so,
like,
too, yeah.
You got, like, Jamal Charles, Adrian Peterson, LaShawn McCoy, which, I mean, of course,
The
you're
thing
gonna
about
get
the
a lot
backs,
of them.
though, is I'm always afraid that I'm more
Who's
of a
gonna
get
pop
the
up
back
and all
off
of
the
a sudden-
waiver wire because the backs can get hurt so damn easy.
Well, and it's absolutely terrifying
Terry
with,
McFadden.
like, I mean, every time you, like, every back that's supposed to be going up high, like Von Bell, was supposed to be a pretty high early second-round pick.
not now.
Well, Garrett Blunt is coming out and being like, oh, yeah, we're going to split carries completely down the middle, and he's getting all the goal line work. So now people are probably going to be like, well, fuck, I'll just draft with Garrett Blunt. I mean, that's like, if he sucks, he sucks. But if he doesn't, it was my last pick in the draft. Who cares?
That's
as
what
far as, I
sucks
mean, that's
about
the...
going to the running backs by committee. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Like, they're saying Doug Martin is going to be running back by committee. Zach Stacy's, like, borderline losing his job, and he's one of the high second-round picks as far as
Well, see, I said that a couple podcasts back. I think that, who was it, Pete or whatever?
No, he just out for the year now.
Oh, Pete is out for the year?
He just got hurt ACL.
Trey Mason.
Trey
Oh,
Mason.
yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, Trey Mason. But I think they were talking about that he probably won't be starting now, so that I think you're probably okay with that pick if you did.
Which, I mean, I think Stacy will be good because he is a good player. I mean, because that's one of them I picked up last year, and he did.
I just don't see how you
great
couldn't
for
start
me
him
as
out
far
for
as
his what he did last year. I
Production
mean,
last year.
he was a beast. Man.
Yeah, he has some good because there were several games where that was keeping me in it as far as with as bad as my draft went last year. He was keeping me in several games.
Who's the is Martin? Is there? Do you think they'll be splitting time in Tampa with Martin and
well, his
the young kids?
second guy is hurt now.
Oh, is he
He's out at least half the year. Yeah.
What's the guy's name? The small running back.
Rainey?
Rainey. He's out for the year.
Oh, I remember.
At
him.
least half of the year.
4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I had a really good game with him last year, but he kind of died down at the end of the year. Though.
I think they're saying at least like 6 games.
Oh damn.
So that's
Is
kind of
Doug
Martin's
Martin
going up.
completely
a little
healthy,
bit.
or
So I don't know.
That's kind of like Martin's going up, but then everybody's still worried about him. Like, and then I mean, you got people like Ryan Matthews with like 2 backs behind him. He's got Donald Brown. Then he's got freaking Danny Woodhead taking. I mean, it's.
I know I'm a Saints fan, but I think Kenny Stills is gonna be a good pick this year
Mm-hmm.
because it's the second year. I mean, Breeze already has that kind of relationship with him, and he was turning on toward the end of the year.
I'll say one thing too, and a lot of the mock drafts have been doing. Pierre Thomas has been going so low, it's not even funny.
Really?
Like 13th, 14th round. I mean,
Well, you know why though? Because if you look at the
That's
preseason, Kerry Robinson's been getting about 70% of the carries.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been getting a lot of play.
Oh, really?
Yes,
he
Football
gonna be a
Ingram
starter?
even, or
even above Ingram. I mean, Ingram gets carries, but it's mostly second half carries
LaShawn McCoy might struggle too
with
McFadden? Or not
Sproles.
with Sproles, yeah.
so that might eliminate some of his catches, so he can last more.
Right, because he got a lot of catches. So I mean, now Sproles might get a lot. Maybe even if you got 50% of those catches, you talk about McCoy being a top 3 back, it might put him down to 10.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's just so. I mean, it really is like running backs are just kind of scary nowadays as far as. And I mean, if you get somebody like you get a Peyton Manning, and I mean that's like what I was saying, and I was one saying
kind of guaranteed
getting
points.
Jamal Charles, but. It's like, I mean, if you get a Peyton Manning, you get a Calvin Johnson, you get a Jimmy Graham, and honestly, you get a Jimmy Graham, there are like tight ends that you easily could get in the later rounds too to be your bye-week replacement and freaking flex them too. As far as when you get like Kyle Rudolph in the 9th round, you get that Zach Ertz for Philly that looks stupidly fantastic. I mean,
he's supposed to be good. I think Gronk. I saw a couple of days ago on NFL Network they were saying that Gronk was out. Yeah, pretty much playing like he was before.
Mm-hmm. And that's honestly, I mean, that's kind of especially because we have in our fantasy league, we have the flex position, running back, wide receiver, tight end. I mean, there's even justification getting Jimmy Graham and getting Gronk too, as far as like with your 3rd pick. And then freaking, I mean, that's like almost some games you probably have 60 points. I mean, you probably have 60 points sitting there just on your tight end and flex. Nobody else can do that. I mean, if that's where you would have gotten your running backs, you can get a Rashad Jennings or something like that.
You can put a tight end on your flex.
Yeah.
Well, shoot.
Yeah. But that's kind of
this year it's well, I think most leagues now are tight end, wide receiver, and running back, right? Flex. And this year that's what we're going to do. I mean,
if we were doing like tips for fantasy football, if anyone gave a crap about my terrible tips for fantasy football, that would be as far as don't ignore that there's so many good freaking tight ends out there, and you can like flex.
We didn't do that last year, right?
Well, I think this year, if the NFL goes through with the not, basically you can't touch them within 5 yards. You can't, they're basically going to call the defensive pass interference a lot more now. Dude, tight ends like Jimmy Graham, Gronkowski. You look at Julius Thomas. The kid from Atlanta. He looks pretty good too. I mean, he's a big kid. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's kind of like a Gronkowski type.
Anytime I hear Atlanta,
big receiver.
Tony Gonzalez in my head.
Yeah, he's gone now.
Yeah,
so they had the young kid kind of come on at the end, but you look at those guys. They're probably gonna get a lot. They're even more like wide receiver points now. I think, coming up.
And he's
big receivers too will be deadly in the red zone.
Yeah, like Brian,
Calvin Johnson, and
the kid from Denver. I mean, he's always been good, but he'll probably be better this year. I mean, he's got speed and power.
You got to think you probably have a 5'10" cornerback on him on a 6'3" guy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
How are they gonna?
Well, I think that's kind of the corners in the NFL. You'll probably. Here's the thing: you started seeing them getting bigger when they could hand check. When they could. Bump a guy at the line, but now what happens? Are they going to go back to the smaller kind of Darryl Green type people, or what's going to happen if you can't?
We're going to need some guys that can jump.
Exactly.
But that's what's going to be a jump ball.
I mean, if the Richard Sherman can't push off on the line and things like that, what happens to him? Is he still a top corner, or is he an average corner?
I don't think they'll call that, because I know they're calling it now, but I think once the season starts and they get all that time, because
I saw a stat.
The time.
Yeah, and I saw a stat they were talking about. I think the most penalties they ever had in the preseason was 13, and this year it's 19, like average, 19 per game. That's a lot of penalties.
It's going to be a slow deck.
Yeah, who the hell wants to watch that?
More fantasy points, though.
Yeah, true.
4-hour games, 4.5-hour games.
Oh, that's too much.
Yeah.
I mean, the Saints game I watched, I always say I'm a Saints fan, but they had 32 penalties. That's
too much.
It's not fun to watch.
At least with your Cowboys, you'll be playing from behind a lot, so you'll have good. Oh, Romo will throw it. I mean, he does. They don't ever run the ball. They try it for one game and then they switch.
Well, the thing about Romo, he's not a great quarterback, obviously, but he's pretty damn good in fantasy.
Mm-hmm. He is, but this year he's coming off back. So
that scares me.
So I rocked Tony Romo all year last year.
But you got to on the back.
The back is scary.
Mm-hmm. I worry about the back injury.
But that can come last year. I fell for the Kaepernick in the 5th round, so I ran with Tony Romo the whole year, and he did pretty well as far as
Brandon Wheaton.
Oh, Wheaton?
Yep. Who was the top running backs last year? We were talking like Jamal Charles.
McCoy.
But I don't think they were like the
Charles
top.
Well, McCoy was the top, right?
I know Adrian Peterson's number one because he was coming off that crazy year.
But he
last year. So they changes yearly, I think Ray Rice was up there.
There's a lot that are Jamal Charles because I got him on 7th pick.
Yeah, but Jamal Charles was coming off of
injury,
right?
Yeah. Jamal was.
It's funny how the running back rankings are because
it's all based on what you did last year.
And is Jamal Charles going to be that good next year?
Same with NCAA football. Those are the stupidest rankings ever.
Yeah, but that's a really good point, man, because you go look at how much the running back ratings change every year, and still Calvin Johnson is always up there, Jimmy Graham's always up there, Peyton Manning's always up there.
What is it based on though? What is the running
previous year?
That's kind of running backs.
No, the running backs injuries. So you got Peterson the year before, the top running back last year, right? He was injured the year before. The top running back this year, McCoy or Charles was injured the year before.
Well, because when
who was injured last year? Martin. You better pick his ass up.
Well, because that was the when I got Adrian Peterson when we were playing fantasy football. I got Adrian Peterson in the 3rd round and got Peyton Manning in the 5th round, and that was the year I won because they both went.
No, that's
absolutely ridiculous.
No, that's the year you drive Dalton with Chinese food.
Well, when you draft Aaron Rodgers with their first pick and then you have Peyton Manning, you can sell them as much as you want.
The thing about fantasy, man, I think if you look at the overall, the NFL as a whole, the biggest contribution to it being the #1 sport in the world or in America right now is probably fantasy football. I mean, because baseball, the fantasy is you got to do it every day. The great thing about fantasy football is you can mess with it once a week and still have a chance to win.
You can
a couple days because you do it Thursday.
Well, yeah, but they get the
and it's like exciting to you because you got your waiver wire claims. You want to like wake up. It's almost like freaking. I mean, not like Christmas morning, but it's kind of like, hey, I got my waiver wire claim. Woo! Yeah,
and I'm telling you right now, if you're not playing for money,
there's no point to do it. Yeah,
there's no point.
You should bet as much as you legally can be allowed, and then like 50.
I'm very disappointed that it's only $50.
I'm very disappointed that you're so damn far away from the mic.
I'm very disappointed because it's only $50 because, as you know, in my past, I seek to thrill seek.
John's like wanting to put up a car. Like, here's my van. We don't want the damn van. It's 200,000 miles. Let's look at
it gets too much, and we only have like 3 people in there and 4 people.
Jason, you just need to step up.
I'm there every year.
No, you work. And your wife works. There's no excuse to do ponied up.
Jason would be down for $100.
Oh, you're down for $100?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He wouldn't be shying away from it.
Oh, you don't
think it'd be like,
I get 150? Come on.
Jason has no problem.
I say all the time.
Well, I think since a lot of the people we play are punks and they don't want to put up more than 50,
or they don't pay anything,
they don't want to put up the money. We should just have side bets going on.
No, no.
Hey, I'm down for that.
Side bets might be.
Once we get our teams picked, how much side bet you want?
Me
and John are playing first week.
We play each other.
Here's the deal: when we play
How
each
much
other,
do you draft?
When we play each other,
it'll be after the draft.
$50 on the game when we play each other. Jason, don't you look like that?
I gotta have surgeries.
After we do the draft,
yeah.
Okay, new conversation. What's going on?
I tore my ACL and.
Well, we believe you were born without an ACL.
As long as nothing happened.
Actually, they told him he had no ACL.
He's a mutant.
Yeah.
He had no ACL.
So Dustin's been running you through these hardcore workouts and just messing you up?
Of course.
Yeah.
Do you have to carry him on your insurance policy for?
Of course not.
Okay, just checking.
Well, for Frank.
Well, yeah. Jason's got the missing ACL and the torn MCL. Dustin broke his foot while we were working out and.
Yeah, we sound like a bunch of pussies.
I'm golden, man.
No,
I'm fine.
We hurt ourselves and still worked out.
And John's 55 and healthy.
Chase threw up 9 times consecutively. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life.
He's only 145 pounds.
But you know what's good about the show now is when we say names, people might actually know who we are.
Nah, probably not.
Probably not, but still.
But
just Jordan.
Yeah.
They're all just sitting there with their heads in hands like, I don't fucking care. Talk about sex again. What are you doing?
Damn Andy Roddick.
I want to know how the sexual challenge works.
Yeah, but the fantasy football, we got to spice it up. These side bets have to be interesting. It doesn't necessarily have to be for money, but they have to be very crazy side bets or something. Money or something.
I'm down. When I play you, it's $100. There's no doubt I'm whoop your ass on.
That's all you got?
Well, I mean, how much you willing to give up?
Whatever you let them loan.
I mean, shit.
Whatever you loan them. I would wait tomorrow.
Anyway, we are going to get out of here now.
Mm-hmm.
This is Mansanity. Let us know. Actually, let us know what you think of the Sports Talk podcast. Let us know what you think of like the kind of the Creature podcast and kind of what you want to see.
We might like to do as far as hell, we're here for the people.
We're pretty much intricate people, man. We like. We like talking about weird shit.
As long as you don't ask us to do no ice bucket challenge.
We ain't doing no damn ice bucket challenge. I'll just give them $100. Jesus Christ.
We'll come up with a new challenge and we'll spread it.
But anyway, we are out. Have a good day.
If I see